All right, everybody. This one's been a long time coming. I did a series on my channel maybe a little over a year ago, highlighting all the games in the arcade here. And the lineup hasn't changed since. I have Galaxian Cocktail, Mortal Kombat 2, Dragon's Lair 2, Gorf, Donkey Kong, Miss Pac-Man, and Cubert. And this one's probably the most unique game in the arcade. It was made by Leland in, I think, 1991. It's the follow-up to the original Dragon's Lair that came out in the early 80s, and it's a Laserdisc game. All the other games in here run on like a game board. Well, this one has a game board in it too, and that game board controls like where it says insert coin, and a lot of the other score and stuff, that like all that stuff, that's all from the game board. But the actual video on this game comes from a Laserdisc, and they didn't make a lot of these Dragon's Lair 2 games. And the ones that they did, a lot of them got converted to something else and whatever. And I'm pretty lucky to have this one. I was looking for either Dragon's Lair or Dragon's Lair 2. I played this one a lot more back in the day than I did the original Dragon's Lair, because I was pretty young when that came out. It came out in 82, 81, something like that. And I remember seeing it at the arcades when I was a kid and was very confused by it. And I remember it was the first game I ever saw that cost 50 cents to play. And I remember putting 50 cents in it, and I was dead within like 25 seconds, like game over. And I was like, well, this game sucks. But later on, once I figured out like what the game was all about, I kind of came to love it. And I had a Commodore. Well, I guess it was made by Commodore, but it was an Amiga. And I got the game Dragon's Lair, the original one, and I played the heck out of it. And then that would have been late 80s, I think. And then this game showed up at the arcades in the early 90s, and I was like, oh my gosh, a new Dragon's Lair game, this is awesome. So I played the heck out of this thing at Woody's World up at Geneva on the Lake in Northeast Ohio when I was a kid. And so I've been looking for this one for a while, and I had been saving my money for a pinball machine, because there's a couple of them that I want, but I saw this thing pop up on one of the sites, and I was like, basically just told the guy, like, consider that thing sold, I'll be down tomorrow to get it. And I drove down to Columbus and picked it up. And it needed a little bit of work cosmetically. I wish I could pull this thing out and show the side art. Like I spent hours and hours, which you can't even tell, on the side art, getting it looking awesome, and cleaned it inside and out. And I had it in my garage for about a month, and lo and behold, the Laserdisc player started getting flaky on me, and I'm like, oh God. I mean, these things are known. I mean, the Laserdisc players, it's like I guess kind of like a CD player or a Blu-ray player or a DVD player. But the ones they put in these things were commercial grade. And nobody, I mean, at least that I could find, really works on them anymore. So this one was getting sticky where it was, you'd fire it up and it wouldn't fire up right. And so, long story short, there are an incredible group of arcade Laserdisc game enthusiasts that came up with a system that replaces the Laserdisc. They use a Raspberry Pi. I don't know how they do it, but it's called the Dexter unit. And Dexter was, I think, the character's name on, what was the one after Dragon's Lair? Space Ace. He was the Space Ace guy. And I'm assuming they named it after him, but it is phenomenal. So it is a board about the size of my hand, and it replaces the entire Laserdisc player. So you unplug the Laserdisc player, and all the wires that go into the Laserdisc player go into this little inky dinky board, and it is absolutely seamless. So this one is running on Dexter, and I have the Laserdisc player and the Laserdisc down in my basement on a shelf, and it'll get sold with this game whenever, if ever, I get rid of it. So you have that original option, but yeah, so this is all from the Dexter board, and it basically, I'm trying to think how it works, how to explain how it works, is every move on the game is like hitting either up, down, fast forward on your DVD player. So when a scene comes up, so left, sword, down, right, sword. Oh shoot! So that, see how it jumps to that death scene? All right, so sword, up, grab that, right, left, down, sword. Oh, it's hard holding the camera and doing this all at the same time, but all right, let's do it again. So sword, right, sword, left, down, sword, left. So anyways, you can see it's a pretty tough game, but it's probably the most unique and probably my favorite one in here. I'd have a hard time getting rid of it, and you just don't see them. So this one's going to be living out its life probably here in my house, unless I really need money or something. I mean, Mortal Kombats are a dime a dozen. Galaxian cocktails are pretty easy to. Gorf is that one's pretty tough to come by, especially in this condition. If you search my YouTube page and just type in maybe arcade, I do a rundown of each game in here, except this one, which I'm doing tonight. I'm gonna have to throw another coin. But anyways, it's a fun game and very unique and pretty rare. It's one of my favorites. Anyways, hope everyone enjoyed this arcade video. I haven't been doing them very often lately, but if people like them, I'll start doing them more.